Thanks.
It's going live.
Thank you.
Oh, it's setting up the meeting. Wait a minute. Oh, it's redirecting. It's now, I think, done. Wait a minute. It's buffing. There we go. We're ready.
Perfect. Good morning and welcome to this meeting.
Good morning. This is Joe Baldacci. I'm Senate Chair of the State and Local Government Committee, joined with my House Chair, Ann Matlack, and we have Representative Toole. Why don't we go around and just have everybody introduce themselves, starting with Representative Toole.
Thank you, Senator. My name is Representative Will Toole. I'm the House Republican lead for state and local government. I represent the Machias area plus Lubec and Eastport.
Great. I think I know some of your cousins from you got cousins in Bangor, Bill.
You do.
Speak highly of you. So nice to see you. Next, Senator Rosen.
Thank you. I'm Kimberly Rosen, Senate District 8. I have a lot of towns in Hancock County and a lot of towns in Penobscot County, from Castine through Brewer all the way up to Lincoln.
Yay.
And this is the first time I'm on this committee. I've always done criminal justice and transportation, so this is a treat.
Great. It's great to see you this morning as well. Let's see. Billy, you want to introduce yourself?
Certainly. I'm Billy Thompson, the Chief of Staff in the House Republican Office.
Okay. And let's see, Samantha.
Yes, I'm Samantha Zuckerman. I am a Policy and Legal Director in the Office of the Senate President.
Okay. Representative Matlack, I apologize. Obviously, you should go next.
That's okay. I'm Ann Matlack. I represent House District 92 in the Mid-Coast area. My towns include Cushing, Thomaston, South Thomaston, St. George, New Haven, and the Muscle Ridge Islands.
Great.
In addition to this committee, I'm also on taxation.
Okay, great. And Lynn, and do you want to introduce yourself, and then Cheryl?
Yes, I'm Lynn Caswell. I'm the OPLA analyst for this committee, state and local, and also Marine. But today I have my state and local hat on.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And Cheryl? I like the virtual background that you
Why,
have.
thank you.
Looks like we should all go out skiing.
My name's Cheryl McGowan, and I'm the clerk for SLG, but also the clerk for Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry.
Great. So I think we wanted to do this to do it just a test run around some of the Zoom issues to make sure, because it's obviously going to be a clunky technology in some ways for some of us. So we want to try to remove some of the clunks in it. And also to touch base with our Republican leads about the direction of the committee and some of the issues or ways they would like to see things handled. So Representative Matlack, did you want to say something about what you hope to achieve today?
Mostly get to know you, because I have known Senator Rosen for a couple of years now, and I met Representative Toole when I first came to the legislature. So just to get to know each other. I'm also new to state and local government, so I wanted to make sure we were on the same path, and some sort of an understanding of the way we're going to schedule things and what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, and how we can make sure we go smoothly so that we get to the end before everybody else.
Great.
So it is a competition out there.
So Senator Rosen, why don't you tell us, I mean, you're obviously a veteran, and I'm kind of a new kid on the block, so to speak. So why don't you tell us what you would like to see us, or how would you like to see us approach things?
Well, when I was chair of criminal justice and public safety, I know the representatives and senators just wanted to know ahead of time what was going on. So just for scheduling purposes, as long as we know what's coming up, so we can study the bills that we'll be going over. and just the dates and the times. Basically, that's how I'd like to start.
Okay.
Okay.
Representative Tool?
Well, thank you, Senator, and I would agree with Representative Matlack, I'm sorry, that I think a lot of this technology is clunky at best, and I think it's important that we at least have a general understanding of who we are and where we're at and where we're coming from, generally speaking. I know the previous chairs of this committee were great at building relationships within the committee, and I think we both will be as well. But at the same time, I think this technology provides a challenge to that. And I think for my members, I think people want a general idea of what to expect on a day-to-day basis, committee schedule, times we start, times we're done. You know, we've got a couple of freshmen. I'm in my 4th term. We've got a couple of freshmen and another 4th term member. So it's really quite a range of folks. And I think it's good that we have a way to facilitate going forward and having it, at least this first meeting is critical that we do that. And if as chairs and leads, if we're going to be effective, we need to be able to talk to one another and bring issues to one another in an environment that is somewhat less official.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that one thing I would like to see, and Representative Matlack, you can let me know how you feel, is that the 4 of us have a weekly pre-meeting or post-meeting just to go over either what we're planning on having happen and or to digest what happened. I think the 4 of us need to meet together just to touch base. At least I would like to touch base with all 3 of you like once a week, just as a group outside of the committee.
Okay. We'll see how we can make that happen.
Okay.
Our schedules are filling up fast.
Oh, they are. There's no question about that. But I just think that the 4 of us can stay in touch outside the committee. That will help with the process in terms of making things more efficient all around. So
okay.
Absolutely, and I know I had asked Ms. Caswell about whether these meetings were going to be public on Zoom or on YouTube or not, given that in the past committees traditionally have not done that. I realize we're in a new era, and that was a question I had for her, that going forward, were we going to be doing that, or are we going to chairs and leads sit and have a meeting and a discussion about schedule, process, that sort of thing.
Right.
Well,
as Lynn, I was going to say, as Lynn probably told you, having the 4 of us together makes it a little bit complicated. So that I'm happy to have meetings like this on a regular basis, with the understanding that it probably will be several of us talking on an open line, as it were. It's something, because it's the 4 of us, we need to have public access and public notice, but that's fine with me.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I wanted to err in favor of public hearing on this, since I didn't have. I mean, I'd love to. I think we need to know what further procedure stuff is, but I wanted to err, at least for this meeting, on the public hearing, just to make sure we were complying with the statute and the regulations. So,
and that is why I brought it up, just because it not that it's necessarily good or bad, just that it had never been done before. Going forward in that respect.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And if I may, Senator Baldacci,
yes.
This is a question of interpretation of statutes and rules, and there is a lack of clarity, and the question has been raised, and there is a push to find clarity so that all the committees, chairs and leads, can have a clear idea whether this falls within the purview of a public proceeding or not. And as soon as that guidance is established, it will be shared with all of you so that you have an answer. And so I just wanted to put that out there. We are trying to get an answer for all the committees.
Great. Okay, good. So I think the other thing we talked about, Lynn, was going through the different features of Zoom with everybody, make sure everybody was comfortable. I love that's the adorable picture. So do you want to run through, Lynn, how a Zoom meeting is going to run in terms of, I think we talked about raising of hands. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that. Do you want to talk about the Zoom process?
Yes, I will. So going forward, when we have public hearings and or work sessions, so public proceedings, invitations, and Cheryl will correct me if I state this wrong. So there will be two types of Zoom invitations that go out. There are two groups of people that can be in the Zoom, and it's called a Zoom webinar. There's the invitees, which are the committee members, Cheryl and I. Then there's the attendees, which is everybody else. And during a work session or public hearing, the attendees, which could be interested parties, people who want to testify, people who just want to sit in the Zoom meeting, they can be promoted to an invitee, which will mean that their picture will appear. We call them the Hollywood squares. They'll have a Hollywood square, and they can then be invited to speak. So attendees won't appear with a Hollywood square. You won't, they won't be able to participate except at the invitation of the chairs, and then Cheryl will put them into the Hollywood squares, and they can then either testify, and there's a kind of a long process for that Cheryl and the chairs, I'm gonna try and keep this high level. So basically there's two groups of people. The message I'm trying to convey is you as committee members are gonna get a special link for invitees so that you are here and you are seen and you participate. The rest of the world generally will get a different kind of link. So do not forward your link to other people outside of the committee, because that will mess up this system of control, which isn't a problem right now. But if you have 100 attendees, and Cheryl's raising her hand, so Cheryl, just jump in and interrupt me at any moment.
Oh,
I'm not a chair, so just talk over me.
Okay. That's one of the things we need to discuss too, is if we're going to do the raise hand thing, whatever
Yes.
that is. So the attendees, if you will be sent, if you're if you're a host, a co-host, or a chairperson, a committee person, you will be a panelist in a webinar. Panelist, and the attendees will be off and nobody will be able to see them. When the chairs decide they want to hear the testimony from someone or from the sponsors, then they'll be promoted to a panelist, and they'll be staying the panelist until the chairs tell me that they're done with that person. And then they will be demoted. I hate that word, but that's what it's called. They'll be demoted and put back as an attendee.
Would it be helpful? So in the office, Opla, we've practiced this, and we actually practice. Like Cheryl could demote me right now, right, Cheryl? And I would disappear, and then she can promote me. And while she's doing that, if you hover at the bottom of your screen, you'll see you'll see mute, stop videos, and then you'll see participants. If you click that on, you'll see a list on the right-hand side of all the participants.
Okay.
So you can't hear her because I put her in a waiting room. This is and I'll bring Lynn back.
Okay.
This is a regular meeting. So because it's not set up as a webinar, she won't go back as an attendee. But I could, if I didn't want Lynn hanging out here, I could put her in a waiting room, and that you saw, that just took her away. And that's what it would do with the attendees. When we demote them, it'll just take them away.
Okay, are you gonna be in charge of that? You're gonna take a cue from the committee kind of thing?
Yeah, well, from you two. Yeah, you
Yeah.
and Representative
Right.
Matt. Yeah, Matt Lack.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
Carol, is it true that as co-hosts, so the chairs, you will both be co-hosts with Cheryl, I believe. Is it true that they can also kick someone out or mute them?
Yes.
I
Yes,
wish we had better language for that.
yeah.
Move them into the attendee room.
Vote.
There we
Move
go.
them- We're
Into
moving
the
them
waiting room.
into the attendee room. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And you can silence them. And
Okay.
all that stuff. I know that in talking with my other committee, we have decided that one chairperson's going to run the meeting. The other chairperson is going to look for raised hands and all that stuff and communicate with me when they want new persons brought back in.
Okay.
And then I will be bringing the people in and out and
Okay.
demoting and so forth, so that the chairs don't have to do everything, that it's split up.
We had-
In advance of meetings, are we going to get a list of people who have asked to give testimony at public hearings?
Yeah,
So
a
we
half
will
an
have a
hour
list.
before, the meeting. I can give you a list before that, but everybody's allowed to register
Okay.
up to like a half an hour before the meeting. And then that's the list of testimony. If you and your committee decide that you want to let other people in that have not pre-registered but registered during the meeting, I would like send you a chat, just
Okay.
whoever is doing the
Gotcha.
raised hand things, and ask them if they would like me to put them on the list.
Right.
Okay.
So
They
but
wouldn't
I guess
be
my
on your
question is, it wasn't as much as who's coming in, who's going up, more along the lines of, okay, so who's next? So
Yes.
will you be the person to keep track of the list and say, this person signed up first and this person signed up next?
Yep.
Or is that something, or is that something I should be doing?
No, I'll do that for you unless you
Perfect.
want to. I mean, yes. You
Yeah.
can give that to me on my
Okay.
shoulders, and then and that way you guys can focus on the testimony is what I'm thinking. You don't have to worry about all that other stuff.
Okay.
So
If
one of the things I just want to mention that we've done 2 days of committee hearings already. I've done with Ned Claxton, Health and Human Services. So what he likes to do, and I'll just share this, is in terms of questions, he does the whole horseshoe thing. We didn't do any raised hands because we thought just we would recognize people one at a time through the horseshoe, and everybody would get a chance to say something. You know, there wasn't a lot of time because a lot of these presentations took a while, but if we want to do the raised hand, that's up to you guys of how you want to ask questions. I mean, these initial meetings are going to be orientation type meetings.
Right.
So I don't know, Representative Toole and Senator Rosen, if you had thoughts about how you want that system to operate in terms of recognizing people.
Well, Marine Resources, we've had 2 meetings and I've been introduced to the raised hands.
Okay.
And it seems to be working well.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem either way with the raised hands. I mean, I think Senator Claxton, when he chaired this committee last time, he did do things. Every member had their turn and had questions, and he was very even-handed and fair about doing it. So I don't have a problem doing that. I am a little, for those that don't know, I'm legally blind. And I find the chat function at the very least distracting. And I think we should probably stray away from using that for just about everything other than, unless it's a point of order. That it really, that's something really should not be.
I agree. I agree, Representative Tool. I think that the chat thing, yeah, I agree. That should not be the preferred mode of communication. I agree.
Public as well as private. I mean, if people want to have a conversation on the side, that's everybody can do outside of the platform whatever they choose. Nobody can control or say that, but we shouldn't be enabling that.
Right. No, I agree.
I find it a little bit distracting myself. The only thing I was thinking about was, for example, if Cheryl is saying, oh, we have another person that would like to speak, is that going to be okay with the chairs?
Right.
And
I think it's something that's almost purely procedural or just to help move things along, but not as a regular form of communication type of thing. Because I do agree that it's distracting, and if people have stuff to say, they should just say it on the record or whatever. So,
okay.
May I ask a question?
yes.
So if you go with the going around the horseshoe, so I'm not a member of the horseshoe, and neither is Cheryl. So would you, because oftentimes in the past, I kind of give eye looks to the chairs, right? You know,
Yep.
Me, talk to me. And that won't be able to do that. Would you like me if
Well, I think that Representative Tool and Senator Rosen mentioned about the raised hand, which I'm fine. If Representative Matlack is fine, just allowing people to do the raised hand instead of doing the horseshoe thing. That way, I just call on people that way, and
Then
then
what would you, with regard to, and not necessarily saying something to the entire committee, but getting the attention of the chairs for, so that we can say, so you can chime in and add your 2 cents to the conversation?
yes. So Lynn, if you do the raised hand, and whoever's not a member of the committee but is part of the staff, obviously you have a raised hand, then I can recognize you like a member of the committee. I think that would make sense.
Okay.
So that means, if I don't know what you have on your screen right now, but
I have your raised hand.
yeah, where is Lynn in that?
She's next to you with a raised hand.
On the right or the left?
On the right.
Okay. She's on the right.
Because sometimes
she's on the right of you.
I've found in all my other meetings that the raised hand doesn't necessarily go in order of who raised their hand first.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll have to keep track of.
Well, Representative Matlock or Representative Baldacci are going to need to keep track of who's first. And again, I would recommend whoever's not this is just my recommendation, is whoever's not the runner of that.
Whoever doesn't have the gavel.
Session, right, is responsible for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you
I mean,
all know
we'll figure it out, but I mean, I think that there aren't, it's not like there are that many people here. I think we'll be able to keep track of who's got their hand raised and should be recognized.
If I may interrupt, do you all know how to find the raised hand feature? It's different depending on whether you have updated Zoom or not. Have you all found the raised hand, or should you all, Senator Rosen?
Yes, you taught me this on Marine Resources.
Okay. All right. I just want to throw that out there because it's important. And part of my orientation may include the basic Zooming. I throw that out there so that if you want me to talk more about the Zooming features and do a little training for the committee during orientation, just let me know, and I am more than happy to add that.
Okay.
I think a lot of that will depend on how the membership goes. I mean, I guess on Monday, we're going to see how people work, and if people have general questions, then certainly it might not be a bad thing to have. I know
Mhm.
everybody's at a different level, so.
And I don't know about you, but I like Senator Rosen, Senator Baldacci, and I know I'm on two committees, and we're state and local government is a little bit behind, so that we've already been through some orientation, but some members might not. This may be the one committee, so it may be that this is the opportunity for them to be brought up to speed on how things work.
I'm on two committees as well. Unfortunately, I'm on ENR, which meets same day, same time, which, you know, it is what my priority. I'll be in state and local for the primary and there whenever I can.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
yeah, but this will be, and I know a lot of folks that had Monday, Wednesday committees last week just have not met, and that's a lot of the committees.
Right. That was us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're here today. Yeah. Okay.
Cheryl, I was going to say, Cheryl, why don't you describe to us your role?
Actually, I was just looking to see, you do have some members that have not been on a committee. This is their only committee.
Okay.
Right.
So we may need to do that.
Okay.
My role is keeper of the bill. I make sure that I have all the testimonies, when somebody sends in like reports and stuff for the bill, I make sure that all comes in and gets printed off and kept in with the bill itself. I make sure you folks all get your emails so that you can print off copies if that's the way you guys want to do it. Also, I set up the Zoom meetings that need to be set up for the full committees, webinars, all the interested parties will send me, for example, next Thursday with the Agriculture Committee, we're having a meet and greet. And so we already have 40 persons that have sent me an email asking to be put on that meet and greet list.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep a list of the attendees and so forth so that you folks, all I have to do is print that off or send it to you in an email, and then you folks will have that list as well. I think I'm only sending that list to the chairs, because
Okay.
you're going to need to know who's coming up and so forth. The analysts and I talked back on what you folks are going to do for a weekly schedule for the next week. And then I get that put out to all of you and onto the website and so forth. I set up the website's public hearings and make sure the sponsors get their information that they need, and it goes out to all the interested parties. Work sessions, that's probably my easiest one, because that's where you guys actually put in the grit and grime, and I sit back and wait and see if you want me to do something. So that's my easiest one. But basically, I'm here to help you make this a success. So whatever you need, I've had a couple committee members call me while they're on the road coming down here to the State House, wondering what time their meeting is, that they couldn't find their information. So I just let them know. So, yep, I'm here. I don't do coffee through Zoom, sorry. But so whatever you guys need, you just holler. And I'm not allowed to do paper if somebody happens to come into the committee room. I am praying that everybody wants to stay home. That only that keeps them safe and it keeps me safe. I have no plexiglass, nothing. It's a wide open room. So
Yeah.
I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for that one. But other than that, I'm at your service.
Okay.
I have a quick question about paperwork, as it were.
Yep.
Last year, when we were in person, I know that we would have a folder for each bill, and inside would be the advanced testimony. So will we sort of be responsible on our own to go to the bills and review the advanced testimony online?
Yes.
And that anything that comes in will also be electronic to us, if not at the time that the person says, I'm late, I need to give you this, I'm going to be testifying, that we can review it after the fact. So it's all going to be available for us online.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get everything.
Okay, thank you.
The one that's done on the portal, I don't get, I just have to make a copy for the master file, but on the portal, that's where you folks can just pull up the bill and go down through all that information. Anything that's sent to me directly, either through snail mail or through email, will get sent to you folks before the meeting. If
Okay.
not, then I'll send it. If I get it after the meeting, I'll send it to you then.
Okay.
So
Looks
I
like
had a-
Cheryl, looks like Lynn has her hand up.
I do. I just want to mention, and if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. So in addition to what Cheryl just described, on each committee page, there eventually will be a link that I believe will be, it will say LD9, and you click the link and certain materials will appear. So that, my understanding, it hasn't, I can't find any committee that has it yet, but my understanding is that will be a source. So,
Okay.
so for example, I'm pulling up Marine because it actually has stuff. So can you see the web page for Marine?
Yeah.
So if you see here, it says committee material. So if you click that, has it now changed to a different screen?
Yes.
So, for example, the supplemental budget, eventually, maybe by the end of today, I will have posted, or I will have had someone else post supplemental budget materials. So anyone can come to this page, click on this link, and for example, if I click this, it would show you the budget materials. My understanding is, have I gone back to the committee materials page? My understanding is there will be another subcategory that says LDs, and that you will be able to click on that and then click on the individual LDs to get information.
Okay.
It hasn't gone live yet, so those details may change, but that I will keep you posted.
I think that would be good to have a training on that aspect of it once it does go live, whether it's during orientation or a special or at the end of another meeting, you know, just
Right.
to have a 15 or 20-minute presentation. Getting back to something that Lynn had said about managing folks as they come through the door. I think, you know, a lot of us, I got 15 bills myself. I know everybody here has bills. People are going to be coming and going. I think for legitimate reasons, I think you're going to have folks from the public that are just going to find out the day of the hearing, guess what, there's a hearing for this particular bill. And I think we're going to have to let people come in and get in line to testify after the
definitely.
So
Yep.
we're just going to have to.
We're going to have to be flexible, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
at the same point, I think we're also going to need to use a 3-minute clock for every bill, regardless of whether we have 3 or 4 people or 300 lined up to testify, because if we're not consistent, then there's issues.
Okay, so I know that in some instances, the clock has been used. If you see ahead of time that you have a lot of people signed up to testify, you want to use the 3-minute clock. But it's your recommendation that we just set a standard that says every bill, every person, 3 minutes?
I think it would be better this year in particular, because we don't know what we're gonna have for, and that isn't to discourage people from attending, it's just, we don't know what the demand is going to be. And we
Right.
could easily have 500 people lined up. We're gonna have to manage the clock and do so in a
Right.
consistent way.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. I think Cheryl, you had your hand up.
Yeah. Put it up in the right spot.
Yeah.
The list that's generated is alphabetical according to the first name. I know. So when we get that list, we can either rearrange it if we want to. The list that I made for the meet and greet next week for ag, I put first come, first serve basis.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
they can decide if they want to put it alphabetical, but the first email that I got is first on the list and so forth. But the attendee list is alphabetical
Okay, I
by
guess,
first name.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to.
Good morning, Reggie.
Good morning, Reggie.
Morning.
So I guess we'll have to deal with that issue. Let's see. Lynn, we had talked about, I just want to go, we had talked in the other committee, and I raised it here. I mean, there'll be sometimes that people will have to go someplace or take a break. So, I mean, I am fine. I don't know. I just want to discuss this so we have a common understanding. I'm fine if somebody just stops the video and just listens and has to take a break. I don't think that we need to have the video on continuously, depending on what people are doing. We're going to take a lunch break, but people may need breaks in between. So I just didn't know what people's feelings were about that and just wanted to broach that.
My own are that we should generally, between bills, I mean, if it's a public hearing, we should keep moving forward until we complete the public hearing and then have a lunch break. If it's a work session, people may want to stop and have a caucus and request a
Mhm.
caucus, and there will be a break there. So that's, I mean, that will be up to each caucus what they want to do there, I would say. But for continuity's sake, I would say generally we keep moving through the agenda as efficiently as possible.
Oh yeah, no, I meant that I think that it'll be fine. It's an acceptable practice if somebody wants to just stop the video. So
Oh,
they,
yeah.
so they need to
And
do
her-
something.
Yeah.
Right.
Your personal video. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the
I
new
think they should announce why they're taking the break.
I gotta go. No.
Oh,
Just a
Ken
video.
Rose,
Off and do your business.
yeah, well, it's feeling like first grade again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure we all, I know these are little things relatively, but I just want to make sure some of these little things we kind of iron out and we are all on the same page or not. Figure that out ahead of time.
Perfect.
Lynn, did you want to say anything about, did you have anything else that you wanted to add in terms of this overall discussion?
I did have something to say about the scheduling portion. Are we there yet? Or are we still talking about the zooming?
No, we let's go to that. That's great.
So what I'm hearing that you all, the chairs are saying is that, and the leads, that scheduling and having an idea of what's going on is important. So
Mhm.
I'm going to just share a screen. So I historically produce what I call my tentative calendar, and I last session shared it with every member of the committee. But what's happened is because it's so tentative, people read it to be real and they think that their bill is scheduled, and then they see it and they get upset because, of course, the calendar changes minute by minute. So what
Yeah.
I was thinking I would do this session is share my calendar with the four of you, and I'll show you what it looks like. So you'll see how there's some yellow here. So for example, next week is set. Those meetings are all set. But whether or not you have the work session on the 1st for the budget, that's not set. But the public hearings have already been noticed, and on the 3rd, and the confirmation hearings all set. So those aren't in yellow. But if you go to the far right, I have this column. I keep track of what bills have been referred but haven't been scheduled, both for the public hearing and for the work session. I also will start listing if there's an amendment that I'm drafting that you're waiting for. I also list if there's letters that are due and reports. I'm wondering if this would be helpful for the four of you, because it would allow all of you to see, for example, here are the bills. For
Right.
example, Representative Toole, your bill 158, inactive boards and commissions, is here. This will allow you to be able to say, oh, that one needs to be deferred, or we heard from the sponsor, or, you know, Lynn's proposal.
Lynn, I think that's a great idea. I think that's like a score sheet, and it's relatively simple for all, you know, should be
Okay.
relatively simple. No, I think it's a good idea and it's an easy way for all of us to stay on top of what's happening.
But
Okay.
I agree with that, but I also think we maybe ought to do that by email, because if we are having people watching these meetings and people say, oh, my bill's coming up next week,
Yeah.
you know, you can see where the logistics of having a public discussion like this are going to run into some issues.
Mhm.
So that's one area that they would, and that's why traditionally these kind of things haven't been done this way, I would imagine. So, but I do think, I know, like say Monday, for example, our rules adoption and all of that, with our rules adoption, I would request that we don't adopt them next week, that we hold them off until the following Monday if we're going to have committee that day anyway, but just to give everybody time to look over them, especially our freshmen and folks like that, after the discussion. So, I mean,
Definitely. One of my questions or comments was going to be about the rules and the fact that it looks like we'll probably get them on Monday, and we need to have opportunity to make sure that we're agreeable to them and vote on them. Yes, you're right. At a later date.
and I mean, giving people a week to look over them and such, that really is critical, I think, because people are going to have questions, and obviously we've got to have them sooner rather than later, but the discussion will generate a lot of those questions and food for thought, and I think people are going to want to have time to get comfortable with it.
Representative Toole, I agree. That's why I think that before us, you know, staying in touch with each other will help, because I appreciate, speaking as somebody who's just new to the thing, I appreciate, you know, getting the feedback like that. So that's helpful. Thank you.
Before I forget about voting, I think it's critical that every vote be done by a roll call, and everybody, clerk read the roll, every single vote, we say yay or nay to the motion. I know in the past it's been a show of hands, but I've never been a fan of that myself anyway, but especially with this platform, it really should be a reading of the roll.
Yeah, so if we are voting, their screens need to be on, we need to see them first. And then we can either do a roll call or a show of hands. I mean, depending on whether it's something that, if somebody requests a roll, I mean, generally it's a show of hands unless it's a controversial item, but we can, it doesn't matter either way.
It's difficult because we keep floating around. Our Hollywood squares keep rearranging themselves. So I think that Representative Toole is right, and I like that suggestion. And it won't take any time at all for perhaps Cheryl or for Lynn to read down the list, to go around the horseshoe, as it were.
Okay.
And we did that
Cheryl?
And that brings to the point that when I do attendance every time. And if you're here, I mark you here. If you're at home, I mark you at home, both. Okay. But the other thing is if I can have a horseshoe that doesn't change, it's already been changing, so we got to fix that out. But that means that for right now, I would start with like Randall Greenwood, Representative Greenwood, and he would either say yay or nay, and I would say Representative Randall Greenwood, yay. And then I'd go to the next person. So that way the audience also is aware of what's happening, and they don't have to skip around to all the different people that are talking. It's a repeat. So especially with this type of Zoom, I strongly recommend a roll call, even though it's me that ends up doing it. But you're that's my recommendation, but we definitely will do whatever you folks want to do.
Okay.
No, yeah. A roll call is fine. That's fine.
And I think at the end of it, I know in the past, the roll call has been taken. Sometimes the vote tally doesn't always come out to the public. But especially in this kind of a platform, we need to say yays and nays and what the tally is at the time. It may change because people are going to vote after the fact, probably. So I would definitely say that too. One thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about participation from the public is how are people who call in through an 800 number going to be recognized, because we don't want them to get lost.
Well,
I don't know how that
that's a
works.
question for Lynn or Cheryl.
I know that what Maureen has done is if a number appears, like we see Reginald's iPhone, but if he called in from a phone, basically the chairs take a break and say, we see phone number 207-623-1519. Could you please unmute yourself and identify yourself? And they say who they are, and then Cheryl goes in and puts a name. She can change people's names. So she would put a name with that phone number so everyone knows who that is on the phone. But it does require the chairs to, or to Cheryl to say, chairs, could you please ask so-and-so to identify themselves?
Right.
But if
Okay.
you have people without Zoom who are just calling in from a phone, does that account for that? Or I don't know. I'm not familiar with it, but obviously down my way, you've got a lot of people that are elderly that don't even know what a Zoom is.
So the Representative Tool, they will appear if someone called in. It appears in a Hollywood Square, or it appears for Cheryl under the attendee list.
Okay.
So my understanding is if they're on the attendee list, so you guys, there's no Hollywood Square, leave them as a phone number. But if they want to be recognized and come into the Hollywood Squares, they need to identify themselves, and Cheryl will change their name so that their name appears by the phone number. Is that your understanding, Cheryl?
Yes, yep.
Okay. That sounds...
And we, like some people that join might have it mom's iPad. And so before the meeting even happens, I go to the attendee and ask mom's iPad to please change their name, because they're allowed to change their name as well in the attendee section.
No, that sounds reasonable, because I know the tendency is current way is computer, and that's great. It will bring a lot of people in, but it will also leave a lot of people out too. So
Right.
I'm encouraged by that.
Okay.
I don't know if our first bill on the 3rd, is it the 3rd we have our first public hearing?
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's like a busy bill with a lot of call-ins and so forth, but hopefully we'll get some practice before the big bills come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think a couple of the bills on the 3rd may generate some, but I wouldn't want to speculate completely. I know we had the state flag bill a couple of years ago, and that certainly generated some discussion, but I mean, you just don't know who's going to see it online and say, hey, I'd like to come testify on this.
Mhm.
That's great, but we just don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. Something that
Well-
could be small could turn into something that's not.
Well, that's why we put 4 bills only on that day with nothing else beyond, so that we'll get a feeling of how it goes. These are also bills that Lynn mentioned had been heard before, so that there is a bit of background for these bills, and we're hoping to have sufficient time that people who want to testify are able to testify, and we'll get a feeling for how this works.
And I think a larger issue for the information office or whomever is doing a better job of getting the word out of how people can testify. I'm not saying that a bad job has been done, but I don't think people are generally aware of how they can. And you know how people are the day of the hearing, they're going to say, oh, how there may well be a stampede, depending on the bill or how much of a social media presence it generates.
Well, I agree, Representative Toole. I think everybody's gonna have to be patient. I'm gonna work when I served on the city council in Bangor and served as mayor, I had run a lot of meetings, so my effort will be as fair as possible and to be patient and to try to make sure I can let everybody say their piece that I can within a reasonable amount of time.
Within 3 minutes.
So I'm very sensitive to that issue, and I will make sure that we do. I don't want people leaving this committee in any shape or form saying they didn't get a fair shake.
Oh,
So-
absolutely not. What I was talking about is generally with this, people have a hard time learning about public hearings anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now we put the technology on. It may be easier, but I mean, for my own self, I'm presenting a bill. I'm going to send the testimony to Cheryl, but if I was going to tell somebody in a quick nutshell summary as to how to jump in and testify on that bill, say, I don't think members and the legislature itself has done enough to really wrap their arms around how you do that with the public. And I'm not sure how you can really do that, but I'm going to learn. But
Yeah. No,
that's
I
all I was
agree.
getting at.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. No, I just want to make sure, because I do think all these issues are important, because I think when people come in front of the committee, I at least, whether I agree with them or not, or whether you agree with them or not, I want to make sure that they got a fair shake.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
their piece. I think that's the most, I think, to be honest with you, that is the most important thing we can do for people, is to make sure that they get a fair shake out of the committee and a fair hearing. So, do we have anybody else that wants to say anything? Representative Matlack?
No, Cheryl had her hand up.
Oh, Cheryl, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I ignored the raised hands. I apologize. Cheryl, you're the first.
Cheryl and then Lynn.
Lynn.
To piggyback on Senator Baldacci's thing about people leaving, coming and going, when a lunchtime is scheduled, and I think, Lynn, you scheduled like an hour lunch.
On Monday, yeah.
Yeah, the YouTube will not be shut off. That will always be going. So when people leave to go to lunch, I will make sure that the video and the volume has been turned off for everybody, just in case you forget to do it, because the
Yeah.
public will still be able to see and hear what's going on in your home if you don't.
Yeah.
And take, for example, if Representative Toole right now wanted to leave for some reason, he would just turn off his video and his volume and come back later. And I agree that that should be allowed. And I think that, but during the lunch period, or if you guys say I'm going to take a 10-minute break, I'll just make sure all the volumes at least are off, because we don't want the public to hear anything that's being said out there. So just to let you know that I'll make sure that that happens.
Okay.
Okay. And also, should I be changing the names to Representative William Toole, or would you want me to just leave them as you have them there?
I think in the interest of decorum, we should be as professional as possible, whether it means wearing appropriate attire or the background or the names. It's, in other words, people shouldn't, when they come on, they should assume we're in the committee room, whether we are or we aren't. And I just think that would be better for decorum, and it would show some respect for the positions that we hold. That's just me. I'm old school.
No, that works for me too. I think we can let Cheryl know. I mean, Senator Joe Baldacci would be fine, and
Right.
So yeah, that's fine with me, and I agree with you. I will generally have a tie on. Maybe not 100% of the time, but probably at least 90% of the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And I'm not
Now-
putting one out. I'm just saying whether
Yeah, I'm not wearing
it's
one
stuff
now.
we haven't even thought about, you know, like a background. I mean, we have rules where you can't bring props to a committee. And what if somebody walks into committee with a background that says advocates for an issue or what have you? I mean, that's.
Well,
Or has a
that
business
was,
sign or something.
yeah, that was. Didn't we discuss that, Lynn, about having having like a common background for everybody? Or did maybe this was a different committee? I can't remember where we had this discussion. But can we all have it like you have a background legislature type of thing? Is there something we can? I mean, maybe I want a different color than pink, but you're on mute right now.
So I think that a background could be created, and there are actually 4 colors. OPLA created a background because that are 4 color options because we wanted to do just what you're talking about, which was kind of have a professional background. I think that it wasn't too hard for this to be created. I think that there probably could be something created for committees if the committee wanted to have as a rule that everyone have the same background. And then it would just be a matter of helping people, teaching people how to, change their backgrounds.
Yeah, I would actually like that. I mean, I'm doing this most of the time from my office, which I like to have creative clutter because it's worked for me for 29 years. So, but I think that if we had the same background, it'd probably be fine.
Do we have Representative Toole's background?
So
I actually like that one too because
I have got more compliments on that. And I just
Yeah.
found it online a few months ago and
Yeah.
used it for ever since. But the one exception I would say is if people are sitting in the committee room, it would be appropriate to have that as a back. If you're going to have it.
right. It's fun. Whatever the.
Yeah.
But I think those of us who aren't in the committee room, if we have a common background,
Right.
that would be helpful.
Yeah.
do you, I'm asking this as a question. Do you all think that would be an amendment? So an amendment to the committee rules that you would want the committee to discuss and approve, and that would require the presiding officers. I'm just throwing that out.
Probably to stay.
So that Senator Baldacci, so the committee rules, there's a standard rules, but the committees have the ability to propose amendments to it, and the presiding officers have to approve. The most common amendment is the committee members can eat and drink in the committee room during public hearings and work sessions. I'm wondering if this would be a similar proposed amendment that the committee wants to make that says during SLG committee meetings, you either use this background or you or the background for the committee room. That would need, if you wanted it to be done that way, the committee would need to vote, majority vote. It would be proposed to the presiding officers. They can always reject it.
Is that okay, Representative Matlack?
I suppose so. I had just had a sort of calming background behind me, and I have not thought about installing a background behind me. So
Well, I do think if we're in a public hearing or something like that, it might be helpful for all of us.
but I like Lynn's idea of perhaps getting a background that shows the committee room.
See, I thought you were in the committee room.
Who, me?
Yeah,
No, I'm at home.
okay.
If I may, chairs, I just had one more comment. I wanted to follow up, and now I'm gonna lose it. Oh, I wanted to follow up on the discussion about public hearings and work sessions, and particularly Senator Baldacci, because you haven't been through the process. So there will be a public notice that 5 bills are going to be heard Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Those bills can be, I generally arrange them in numerical order. You can change the order of hearing a bill, and oftentimes committees will look to see if one bill has 200 people who want to speak and another bill has 5. They may decide to move the bill with 5 people to be heard first, so those 5 people don't have to sit around for 2 hours. So within each, today you're doing these 5 bills, working them or having a public hearing. The chairs have the ability to rearrange the order. So perhaps once we get rolling, and Cheryl will be sending you a list of, there are 10 people who want to testify on bill 1 and there's 20 people who want to testify on bill 2. You two can decide to change the order based on whatever criteria are important to you.
Does that need, you're on mute, Joe. Does that need to be done ahead of time? Or can it be done the day?
It has been done during the hearings, during the work sessions. Sometimes you'll get a sponsor who will request, I can only come at 9 a.m. Can you hear my bill first? That's completely.
I think, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can see where we're within our rights as long as we posted it. And just because we do one before the other is not going to matter of any kind of legal significance. So I'm sure we could do it right there. Okay, though, that's good to know, because like you said, there may be, 10 people waiting and nobody on the other bills. So we might want to accommodate a crowd, or we want to accommodate some other people. So yeah. Samantha, do you want to introduce yourself? I'm sorry if I don't know if you said anything earlier, but do you want to tell us a little bit about your role?
I briefly introduced myself.
Okay.
So I work for the Senate President, and I basically am a policy researcher working with Senator Baldacci. I don't think that Reggie introduced himself though.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did join in a little late because after staff meeting. I'm Reggie Parson, legislative aide for Speaker Fecto, and I also cover issues on state and local government. So from time to time, or often, you will see me pop in the committee rooms.
Is there anything anybody else wants to say, Representative Batlack?
I think I'm okay.
Okay. Sorry.
I think I'm okay. We're having our orientation on Monday. I just wanted to make sure that we, especially a Representative Toole, who has a vast experience on this committee, was able to help us get to a good place, and to chat with Senator Rosen also. I'm wondering if they might have anything to add.
Yeah.
I've been talking regularly.
Well, like we've said, this is all new to us, and I think we're going to have to go with the flow as each day comes, and I think we're going to be fine.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator Rose.
No, I think we'll be fine, and I think as soon as we get the scheduling and things done, I appreciate Lynn putting the schedule out that she did, and at least to the 4 of us does give a general idea of what people need to expect and all of that. So I know, yeah, no, I think we'll be fine. And some folks will come to the bill, won't, but everybody's going to do and be responsible. So I just would thank you all for doing this, and I hope we can do it again.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will be very helpful. Thank you very much. I think we can sign off now. Lynn, do you want to circulate or get back to us about, yeah, I like the background.
I have to control this guy during the meeting.
A
Cheryl, the
sunny
only
spot
problem-
and he's fine.
Cheryl, the only problem with the background is that we're going to be debating whether to keep using it or not. So could be.
Right.
No, but I like the background. Maybe you can get back to us about the background issue later. But thank you, everybody. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And thank you, Senator Rosen, Representative Tu, Representative Matlack, Lynn, Cheryl, Billy,
Nice to
Reginald,
meet
and
you.
Samantha.
Thank
Well,
you.
Nice to meet you all.
Bye-bye.
all.
Thanks. See you all on Monday.
Yep.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great weekend.
Bye.
Ooh, that's a nice background. I think we're off.
You see it, Representative Tool?
I can, that's a nice background.
Yeah, if I can only get it so that the seal is to the right or left, so it's not right behind the person.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, I like that, but you know, that would be great. if
Yeah,
something
maybe I'll
like that-
play around with it and do something with it on Monday.